Ciao ragazzi, Bruno here for Interworld Wide. Coming to you after extremely frantic 24 hours. It was announced earlier today that Conte and Inter have mutually agreed to part ways and to he'll no longer manage Inter. So, firstly, thank you, Conte. You returned the Scudetto, the trophy, back to Inter. So, great big thank you there. But what happened? Where did this collapse happen? So it's hard. It's very hard. It's a struggle to fathom the reasoning behind it, and it's a struggle to understand why this all happened, what was the root of all of this, and honestly, with Marotta still at the club, I highly doubt we'll ever find out 100% what was the cause of all of this. Um, because at the end of the day, we don't know, and Inter's very well known for keeping the good, the bad, and the ugly very tight-lipped, and it's a very much a need-to-know basis when it comes to alerting the media of such things. So after a couple of days of speculation, it has been announced. Now, the Curva Nord came out and they were saying, look, it's Zhang's fault. He doesn't know how to run a club. If he doesn't know how to run a club, leave. Um, and the general narrative that's been narrated is that Zhang said we need to sell $80 million worth of players. Conte said, well, I can't do that, and we need to work something else out. And with that firm providing Inter with 275 million euros, it's hard to believe there was a big financial gap, an $80 million financial gap. And it's quite tough to comprehend why Zhang was requesting this, and why it had to be so urgent, and so forth. But that's looking at it as an Inter fan, because we have all come to know and love Conte, and we have every right to love Conte. He brought a Scudetto to this beautiful club. But let's look at it as an outsider. Let's go back to school here and go through some of the history of Antonio Conte. And if you look at from his Juventus days, Juventus, the Italy national team, even Chelsea, he would chuck a tantrum and leave. We saw it at the end of last season, chucked a tantrum, came out of the meeting with Zhang, Marotta, and Zanetti, and everything was fine and got what he needed. But yeah, he chucked a tantrum and he always looked like a disgruntled employee who wasn't happy with what his boss had to say. And at the end of the day, Zhang is his boss. Simple as that. And if he says something, you need to act on it. You can always question, but you need to act on it. You need to act on it. So it's not uncharacteristic of Conte for this to happen. It's definitely not in that manner, and he's left clubs before in this situation. So there's that, and then there's the speculation and the rumors rumbling this morning of Zidane leaving Real Madrid. So apparently Conte was approached by Perez to join Real Madrid. So that's another thing. Did he receive another offer and he wanted to leave? But what hurts the most as an Inter fan, and this is probably the last bit I'll say in this video, but what hurts the most as an Inter fan is if we look at this from an Inter fan's perspective, it's been 11 long years. And 4 years ago, we saw the start of a beautiful project with the introduction of Spalletti. And you know what? The clouds started to clear. We started to see the blue sky. But then Conte came and it just seemed like the perfect day. We almost had our hand on the trophy last season. We won the trophy this season. And if we look forward to next season, with everything that's happening in the world of Serie A, Donnarumma leaving Milan for free, their most expensive player, and rumblings of Pioli leaving there. The issues with Pirlo at Juventus, barely qualifying for Champions League with Ronaldo on the out, apparently. Napoli getting rid of Gattuso. Lazio, they're a basket case, you know, because you never know what's happening with them. And the only real, team that had some form of claim would have been Roma with the introduction of Mourinho, but I couldn't see them winning. So Inter were already putting that second star on the jersey. But now I feel like we're regressing. We're going backwards. And, we saw the dark clouds disappear. We saw the clear skies. And as Inter fans, we were happy. But we only were happy to realize that we're in the center of the storm and there's still the dark clouds to come across. I could be jumping the gun. 100%. There is so much more that could be at stake here. And, with Marotta in charge, there's always plan B, C, plan D, plan E, plan F, and so forth. So I can't see him going into this blind. And the same thing went for Spalletti. He always had Conte on the speed dial, so wouldn't surprise me. But we need someone quick. Euros is only 2 weeks away. And you know what? I can't see Inter lifting that trophy next season because if you look at the farewell messages from the Inter fans, they were touched. Bastoni, he came out and said, you believed in me, you gave me the chance and you taught me so much. And then you had Lukaku saying you evolved me as an individual, as a player. So will they follow? Hope not. But I don't know if, a lot of these players, we don't know what their contracts stipulate. And if there was a Conte clause or anything along those lines, because it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But look, there is much more. So look, guys, let me know below. Who do you want to see as Inter manager? Who can you see as Inter manager? But, let's be realistic here. Who's available? Well. Anyway, as an Inter fan, it is a dark day, but as always, Forza Inter. You've got to kiss the badge. You got to support the badge no matter what. And we've gone through this before. I just feel like we're going through the motions. So Forza Inter worldwide. Ciao.